Hello, hello everyone, and welcome to the Squarespace Masterclass. Hello, hello, hello everyone, and welcome to the Squarespace Masterclass. So excited to have you all in here. I'm going to give everyone a moment to come on in. I just sent out the email letting everyone know that we're live. So please feel free to pop your name in the chat. Tell me where you're from and what your business is. I'd love to hear who's in here with me today. Today, we're going to be going over Squarespace, which is my favorite website building platform. Always love to be able to share this with you guys. We're going to dig into the back end of this platform. I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on how I create websites with this platform. So very excited. Again, there is a chat box down below this video where you guys can pop in and tell me who you are and where you're coming from and all that good stuff. All right, looks like we are definitely live. So again, okay, I see Zara from Boston, a mindset coach. Welcome in. Looks like everything's looking good on the live. Again, we are going to be digging into the back end of Squarespace, and really I'm going to be showing you guys some tips and tricks and all of that. I want to give everybody a chance to get in since the email just went out. Welcome in. I see Tammy from DC, a beauty blogger, is here. We're about to get started in just a moment. I want to give people a chance to hop on in. Again, if you are just coming in, be sure to introduce yourself in the chat. Let me know who you are and where you're coming from. I see Yamil saying hello. Hi. All right. Let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to pop on the screen real quick to say hello. And guys, let me know if you can hear me in the thing. I'm using Google Hangouts here, and I just want to make sure that you can hear me here. You should see the first screen of my chat. Hello. Hello, everyone. It's me, Angelica Dazelle. I'm going to be doing this Squarespace Masterclass for you guys today. I'm very excited to take you guys through my favorite website building platform, Squarespace. People will still be coming in. I sent the email about 5 minutes ago to let people know that we are going live. So I'm going to hop right into the presentation. Again, let me know if you guys can hear me and everything, because this little microphone thing shows up showing like the microphone is off. So let me know that you guys can see and hear me. And if so, I'm going to hop into the presentation here. All right, so you guys should be able to see my shared screen now. Looks like all is squared away there. All right, so this is the Squarespace Masterclass. Just real quick, I'm gonna check the chat, make sure everything's good with you guys. Okay, I see more of you guys coming in. I see Stephanie from Dallas, Lynn from Philly, Yamil, hi, and Yvette as well. Hi, welcome in, guys. All right, I'm excited to get started, so let's go right into it. So what you're going to learn today, we're going to talk about the pros and cons of using WordPress versus Squarespace. We're going to get acquainted with the back end of Squarespace, and we're going to learn why you don't need to be a design genius to build a beautiful website that converts. So I am living proof of this fact. This time 3 years ago, I didn't know the first thing about web design. My background is in broadcasting, so I had no graphic design experience whatsoever. One day I decided to start a little blog, but I fell in love with actually building the site as opposed to doing the writing inside the blog. And I decided that I wanted to become a designer. So after 6 months of all these coding courses, blog tutorials, YouTube videos, this was my very first WordPress site. And, it got the job done, but it wasn't me. And more importantly, it made me no money. That is when I discovered Squarespace. So Squarespace is a website building platform that allows you to create really beautiful sites without lots of tech and coding know-how, basically. This was the very first site that I created on Squarespace, one of the first websites I created, period. And I was really proud of what I was able to pull off with very little experience. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what the very first thing you ever do can be like. So the benefits of using WordPress is that literally anything is possible if you know how to code. Your WordPress site has endless customization options. And also, if you want to use a membership site, there's a lot of plugin options that make that really easy. It'll make you have a personalized experience for your new members. Now, there are recent software pieces like Sentry Login and MemberSpace that allow you to do that on Squarespace as well. So that's one of the benefits that is kind of moved to the Squarespace side of things. The benefits of Squarespace, number one, is site maintenance. So if you've ever had a WordPress site, you know that you're constantly having to update plugins, themes, and software to prevent it from crashing, And I was always worried that I was going to update a plugin and it was going to crash my whole site. We've all heard the horror stories before, or that I might be using a plugin that would bring a virus into able to solve that problem for less than half the price of premium hosting. So here's the deal. All the WordPress hosting that you see that costs maybe, $4.95 a month, anything under $10 a month, basically, is a basic shared hosting. And a lot of times it can make your site really slow. And when I started looking at premium hosting, which can be upwards of $30 a month to get premium WordPress hosting, that's when I really decided, let me check out Squarespace because I know that those sites are fast and I won't have to spend as much as premium hosting costs. Another benefit of Squarespace is the typography. So as a designer, I love fonts. I love typography. So important. The right fonts can really make or break your design. And Squarespace offers dozens of amazing premium fonts that are not free on the web. So what I mean by that is, some of these examples you see over here, like Brandon Grotesque and Proxima Nova, if you want to purchase these fonts to have them on your computer, they can be $100, $150 to purchase the font. And so I was so enamored when I would see people had Brandon Grotesque on their website because that is an expensive premium font, and it's just available on Squarespace. Another thing that started to push me into the Squarespace corner. Now, some of the drawbacks of Squarespace is that it's really difficult to come up with any. What I would say is that there's only about 14 templates. I think they've added a few recently, and a few of those are very popular. So you can risk your site looking kind of cookie cutter if you don't know how to customize it or if you don't have unique branding. The biggest benefit of Squarespace is that I started making money. So let me explain that. With my WordPress site, I made a whole total of $200 in my business ever. Ever. And within the first month of my Squarespace launch, I had made nearly $4,000. So what I mean by that, I'm not saying that Squarespace was the magic bullet, but it did do a few things for me. So it boosted my confidence because I was able to send people to a site that I was proud of, that I felt like it was me, And it also allowed me to position myself as an expert, someone that has a great site who wants to give you a great site. And also the buildup and frenzy around my new site launch got a lot of attention. So I did a lot of posts as a countdown, sneak peeks and things like that leading up to the day that I launched my website. So it allowed me to build up some frenzy on it. Demo time. So I want to share another part of my screen here because we are going to hop over into the actual back end of Squarespace here. So let me just do my screen here. First, let me do my little popping text there. Okay, hello, this is me again. I'm going to do a different screen share here. We're gonna pop over into my browser. So now you guys should see, this is my current website, which is on Squarespace, and we are in the back end of Squarespace right now. So I want to just show a couple of things about the back end, show you how I do things on Squarespace. Feel free to pop questions in if you have any or anything like that. I am monitoring the chat from my phone, so I'm looking at my phone and watching that. Okay. So this is the back end of Squarespace, my website, as you can see here. And so the first thing I want you to notice is that we have kind of this little dashboard area over here in Squarespace. There is a toggle area that I can go full screen on my website, or I can bring it down to look at my options, in the back end. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is go to pages, because this is where all the pages live on the website. And what I want you to notice is that we have main navigation, which this means these are all the pages that are in the top menu of my website, as you can see there. When you scroll down, though, you can see that there's also this area called not linked right here. Not linked, these are pages that are important, but they are not in the main menu of the site. So these are things like the page you're on right now, this live webinar page. Is not in the main menu of the site. As you can see, there's the live webinar page. The page you signed up on is one of those pages. So I have tons and tons of pages that are not in the not linked section. We're going to talk about the pages in the header really quick first. So let's talk about the home page. Right here, as you can see, it says home. So the home page is an index page. And what I mean by index page is that it is more than one page stacked on top of each other. So what I want to do here is scroll down, and as you will see here, this one page is 6 pages stacked on top of each other. So what I mean by that is, as you can see, home, you see header here. And so if you look at header, that is everything that's right here. And then as you can see, the background changes here. So the reason for index pages is so that you can have full width areas that have different backgrounds. So the top, this was called header, remember? This part was called Time to Thrive, and you can see it right there. This next part, different background again, bankable promo, where I was promoting a specific service that I'm offering right now. And as you scroll, you can see the background changes again. This one's called Signature Services. And so an index page is basically several pages with alternating backgrounds stacked on top of each other. And that's how I really create variety in my website pages. Okay. Another thing I want to get into and show you is the style editor. So we're hopping back. This is again, we're on the main dashboard, and I'm going to go to design here and style editor. So the style editor, this is really just like the heartbeat of the Squarespace site. And what I mean by that is this is where you select all your colors, all your fonts, all your settings that make your site unique. And as you scroll through here, you will see that there are so many things that you can control on this site. So many colors, so many fonts, sizes, things like that. And the best way that I do that is hovering into the area that I want to change. So, if I'm wanting to change the color of the text in my menu and things like that, like if I hover in that area and click, it will show me all the things that are in that area that I can control. And you can see where the blue box kind of pops up, and it pops up often for just different things, and that is how you really start to set things out. So whenever I first create a Squarespace site, the first thing I'm doing is laying out what are the colors and fonts that I'm using on this website. So immediately when I start a website, I pop in the style editor and get those colors and fonts going. The best way to do that, I'm just going to create a mock page right now. I think I might have, yeah. So this is how you add a page. Notice there's a little plus sign here, and I'm going to put this down in the not linked section so it won't be in the menu. And I'm going to create a page. And we're just going to call this test. You'll notice that Squarespace has some page templates here that you can play with. It's a really good way to start so you don't start with a blank canvas. So, they have mock contact pages, about pages, little details that you could use for sales pages, those kinds of things. I'm just going to start with a blank one because we're just going to lay out our colors and everything, and I like to be able to see it visually. So I'll create a page, and the first thing we do, text. I'm going to go to, I'm basically going to create headings. So heading 1 is going to be the biggest text on the site. Heading 2 is the next biggest, and so on. We get 3 headings, and then we get a normal text or a paragraph text. So I'm going to highlight my heading 1, and I'm going to go over here to my little dialog box where I can edit my text. And heading 1, you can see it there. Both of those just turned into heading 1, so I'm going to make sure I hit enter. The next one, I'm going to choose heading 2, see what heading 2 looks like. Next one, I'm going to do heading 3 to see what that looks like, and then paragraph text is set to where it is. So headings are basically how you create variety in the text on your Squarespace site. You get my drift? So I mean that heading 1 is going to be the biggest. It might be one of your brand colors, and so on and so forth. So I always like to put those out on a page so I can hop over into the style editor and make those what I want them to be. All right, so I'm going to hit my dropper again, and I'm going to add a button here. And I want you to notice that, like in the Squarespace page builder, these droppers are how you drop in content on the page. So I'm going to hit that, and there's so many options here. We're going to talk about a couple of them. But first, button, because I like to also establish what my buttons are going to look like in the style editor. We get 3 sizes for buttons. So you can see size here, small. So I'm going to do a small button there. Another button, we're going to do the medium, which you can see medium is the automatic one. And we're going to do one more button, and it'll be the large. Okay, now that we've done that, I'm just going to hop over into the style editor so you can kind of see how it works. So we have kind of this is kind of like a starting page for me on the website. So we'll pop over here, go back to design, into the style editor. And you will see here, let's say I hover over this heading 1 here and click it. You can see right away that we can choose our heading 1 font. You know, let's say, of course, it's something you want to establish, you know, beforehand, but let's say that it's Proxima Nova or something like that. That's my heading 1. I could also select a color for it if I wanted. Let's say I wanted a navy blue or something. I always have specific colors for my brand that are hexadecimal. Show that. Like my brand color pink, which is this pink right here, the hex code is, you guys will see it right there, it's FFEEE7. These are things that I show in my course, how to get your hex colors for your branding, but I can also just dabble in that really quickly. You can notice that like the color black is 000, pretty easy. So that is how I use the same colors throughout my branding. And you would do the same thing for your heading 2, heading 3, your paragraph, so that you have all your colors and fonts laid out properly. What I will say about, if you don't know about hex colors and how to choose them and things like that, I use Adobe Color right here. Adobe Color is a really good way to start to play around with what colors and fonts you want for your brand. Oh, that just reloaded a little bit. What colors and fonts you want for your brand. You can see how the color wheel kind of goes around, and the specific color you're looking for, the hex is down there. So a lot of times I'll play with finding a specific color and looking at other colors that coordinate with it and things. So like monochromatic, these are like other similar reds. Let's say if I was looking for red, or if you're looking for complementary colors and so on. So it's a good fun way to play around with colors. Then it always gives you your hex color at the end. Let me just check the chat here real quick, make sure, see if anybody's asking anything. All right, we're good to go. Okay, so moving on here. So that is the style editor. And again, I do the same things with the buttons. So where these buttons are here, if you hover over them, you can choose the colors that you want the button to be. You can see how they change there. You can see how the font changes. Let's say, just picking one. And there are other things you can do, like make it an outline button. You can see it there. You can also make it rounded or pill shaped, as you can see there. So just a lot of fun things that you can do. I'm not going to save those changes because, so I'm going to hit cancel here and discard those changes to go back to my original branding there. So while we have a page here, I want to just dig into the page builder that I told you about and see what we can do with it. So we're on that test page that I created, and I'm just going to hit edit up here to edit the page. And so I want you to notice again that we have these droppers and we can drop any kind of content in that we want. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to hit a dropper here and let's add a video in. And let's find a YouTube video. Let's see, can we use this one for this webinar here? I believe we can. I'm just gonna grab the YouTube link for that. That's us right there. And back to the page, I'm just going to drop in the YouTube link of the video, and you can see it shows up down there. You can also add Vimeo videos in there and things like that. So they have a couple options there. You can also add a custom thumbnail. So if you don't like what the video is showing, maybe it's showing a screenshot of you that you don't like or something like that, you can add a custom thumbnail. So I have something in mind. We'll use that one. Let's see. Oh, well, something's up with that picture. Let's do a different one. And so as you can see, the image changes there. And I'll just hit apply. So that's how you add a video. So let's say this video is really kind of large, and maybe I want the video to be a smaller size or something. I like to use the spacer for this. So the spacer, this is a fun little game changer that I love about Squarespace. So we're going to hit the dropper here, and I'm going to find spacer. You can see it right there. So with the spacer, I can drag this to make something smaller by putting a space next to it. So I'm going to take the spacer and drag it over next to this image here. And you can see that that makes the video smaller. There's also, if I hover between the two, you can see a double-sided arrow here where I can drag it to make it bigger or smaller, however I want. Now, maybe we want it to be in the center. You know, we don't want it to be pushed off to one side. So we can create another spacer and put it on the other side. So I want you to notice something about the way I drop the spacer. This spacer, when I drag it over, you'll notice that there is a long line on the side. These lines are always guides for kind of where your content will be dropped in. And this line is really long. If I drop that line, that spacer there, it will push the entire page's content over. So watch this. You see how it pushes the entire page's content over, and I only wanted to push the video over. So I'm going to delete that spacer. I'll hit the trash can here. And I'm going to hit the dropper again, and let's make another spacer. This time, I'm dragging the spacer, and I need a short line. I need this line to be short and only next to the video. So what I do is kind of drag it inwards, and you see that line get shorter? It goes from longer to shorter like that. So with the short line, that is how you do it. Again, we use our double-sided arrow to make it bigger and smaller like that. So that's how I would alternate the size of my video and make my spacers the same on both sides to do that kind of thing. So that's a really great way to alternate the sizes of things. You can also do things like, let's say we want the video to be off to one side. So I'm going to delete this spacer. I'm going to use my double-sided arrow, scoot this over, and we could just put in some text. So I could say, watch this video. And I'm going to do it in a heading 1 because I want it to be my big text. I'm going to center it and hit enter. I'm going to maybe and learn lots of great stuff. And I'll just center that there. And we'll say we make this like a heading 3. I like it, paragraph, normal font. We could also use the page thing to drop in a button. So let's say I have a small button and And I can say click here. When I say click through URL, that is what do we want this button to link to? So we have a couple options. External would be like something outside of your own website. So it could be like google.com. I guess you probably would not just direct people to Google, but whatever link it would be. The other is files. So this is you uploading something like a PDF, any kind of file that you want people to be able to download from your site. You can upload it into this and people will be able to click the button and download that item. The other thing is content, which you probably use the most often. These are all the pages on my website, you know, so if I want to link them to Luxe Design Collective, which is my course, that's a page on my website and it's going to link them to that. And remember, again, we have a small, medium, and large size button. It's kind of up to you which one you want to use. You can center the button, which I think is appropriate here, but you can also left and right align it. So that is how I do text to the side. I would probably delete my spacer after that, or I can make the spacer shorter. So notice again, we have a double-sided arrow here where I can scoot the spacer just to make it a little shorter. And if I wanted to save that content, I would hit save like that. So that is kind of a good look at just the page builder. I'm going to check the chat, make sure nobody has any questions or anything. Just take a look. Okay. And guys, yeah, if you have any questions about what we're talking about, just let me know. So the next thing we are going to do is we're going to hop back over to our presentation. Got something quick to talk about. Hey guys, I'm going to be popping back on. Hey guys. So now I'm going to hop back over to the PowerPoint. So another big page I want to talk about is the landing page. So what do I mean by a landing page? You guys have probably heard of that. This is a page on your website that has one specific focus. For example, a really big one is a sign up for my freebie, right? So notice that there are no distractions on a landing page. There's no menu at the top. There's no calls to action on the side. There is one specific action you want them to take, usually some kind of action button to get them to take that thing. I like to direct my social media traffic to a page like this. So we're talking about maybe your Instagram link in bio or something like that. Since you only get one link, you want to take them to a page where they can take the action right away that you want them to take, basically. So a landing page is really good for that. This was created using Squarespace's cover pages in less than 10 minutes. So that's what we're going to do now. So again, it's demo time. So I'm going to pop right back over to my other screen here. All right. I wish there was a way to just hop back and forth between our screens here, but all right. So we're back here. And so I'm going to go back over to pages and we're going to create a cover page. So you'll see me hit the plus sign right here and I'm going to create a cover page here. So we'll just call this test cover page. All right, so you can see what the template looks like. We're going to start making some edits to this. So the first thing I want you to notice, change layout, that you have a whole lot of templates, like choices that you can do for this cover page specifically. A couple that I really like this one where there's a square in the middle. And I also like this one to the side because it's mobile responsiveness. It's pretty easy to deal with the mobile side. So I'm actually going to choose this one. We're going to go back here. And so the first thing you do, branding and text. We can add our logo. So I'm going to upload my logo here. Just going to grab it. Here it is. And let's say this is a free download. And we'll be able to change the fonts later to match our branding. And I'll just have a little text here. This is what so I would put full information about what they're getting in that part there, you know. In addition, you could do like, you know, bullet points or something like this. if maybe that explained the attributes of what you want them to download. See there too. I also want you to notice here that when I go down to the next line, it's kind of like a bigger gap between these two than I want it to be. So if you do shift enter instead of regular enter or return, so I'm holding on the shift and then pushing enter, you can see that the lines are closer to each other. So that's what I want, shift enter, like that. So I'll hit save and we'll go back here. Media. So this is how you edit the image that is up here. So let's see what I have to place in there. Yeah, I think I might use this picture. Yeah. Okay. So I have a picture in mind. All right, and it's loading up here. And okay, so what I want you to notice is that there is a focal point for this image, and that's this little circle right here. So right now it's focused on the white part of the image. If I scoot this over here, scoot the focal point over, it's going to focus on the part of the image that we want it to focus on. So there we go. And I'll go back here and under action. So this is where we decide what this button does. This button can link out to another page. So you can see that's the option that's being exercised here, is that it's shop now and it's linking out to a page. I don't want to do that, so I'm going to put that in the trash, and I'm also going to get rid of the word shop now. So let's say I want to do an email sign up for mine. So it's down here with the form. You can see that we have a newsletter sign up option. We can choose what the button says. So the button might say, click to download. And I'll edit this by connecting it to my MailChimp account, which, you got a couple of options. I'll go into that first. I'm just going to log into my MailChimp account. And it will load up all your lists in MailChimp. And so let's say I want them to go to the Luxe brand training. And so that's how you connect with the MailChimp. There's some other options, including Google Drive. What you might want to do is if you're just collecting the names into a spreadsheet or something like that. Squarespace campaigns exists now, which is like they have their own email marketing thing. I prefer to use something like MailChimp or ConvertKit, but they do have their own email marketing now to where you could have people subscribe to your Squarespace list. So that's pretty cool. So I hit save. We're going to go back and let's do the style. So this, just like the style editor that we went over, will kind of show us, will allow us to edit everything. So, we can edit the placement, whether it's like the left or the right. I like the left. And the alignment of the text, all that fun stuff. Then let's get into image. A lot of this I don't play with too much, like the imagery, full versus grid. Like there's no reason why I would need to do that. And like color overlay. So like if you wanted to darken the color, I would use a custom overlay color, and you can change up the opacity of the overlay. So, even if depending on what color the overlay is, you can change up the opacity and all that fun stuff. So lots of changes that you can make. I don't need that. So I'm going to take it all the way to transparent. Branding image height, that's how big your logo is. So how big or small you want that to be. The headline, you can create it in your font color, your brand fonts. I use a font called Bodoni. So you can see that there. You can also change up the size, all that fun stuff. With the body font, same. You can make it your body font, which mine is Playfair Display. There it is. And I want to make it, I think the rest of that's pretty fine. I'll probably make it a little bit bigger. And maybe I like the italic version of that. So lots of fun things you can do there. Color behind text. Let's say I want to make it my brand pink. I'm going to go back and refer to my brand colors here. and change the color there. So you can see how that changes the color. There's so much you can do. Like you can give it a border, make the border a certain color. You can change the font here for this button. I'm going to make it my brand font, of course. And I like it to be a full solid button, not outline. Make it true black. And yeah, that's good to go. If you have social icons on yours, you can see them down there. You can change the color or the size. You know, you can, the style as well. So yeah, maybe medium, regular, black. So yes, there we go. I'm gonna hit save here. And we are done with our cover page just like that. So this is a page that people can sign up for my freebie, people, whatever action you want them to take. It could be a contact form, a freebie, or linking them out to another page. Other ways that I use this, let's see. I'm going to show you an example. This was a page that you guys were taken to after you signed up for this webinar, which is my thank you page. So you can see it's a side-by-side situation, and I used it to encourage you to share on Facebook and share on Twitter. So if you were to click these action buttons, it would take you to sharing. Or I have a tweet that I've already written out that was available right there. So, and if you want to know how I create like click to tweet links, I use a website called sharelinkgenerator.com. So I can write up the tweet I want them to send out and create the link, and that is how that link exists, basically. So yeah, that other ways that people use cover pages. I'm going to go to Femtrepreneur. Let's see. They use their homepage. You can see them on the homepage of their website, and it is a Squarespace cover page because they really want to get people to go to a specific page from their homepage, which is their accelerator, a signature program that they're trying to get people to be a part of. So you have two options when you get on the homepage: learn about my accelerator or go to the blog. You know, one of those sounds boring and one of those sounds exciting, basically. So that's how they are funneling people on their homepage from one place to another. So those are some uses for cover pages. Let me just real quick check and see. Oh, yes. And thank you for sharing on Facebook. Let's see. Would you say if you have a smaller audience, Squarespace? Oh, definitely. People of larger and smaller audiences use Squarespace. The question was, would you say that if I have a smaller audience, Squarespace is okay? And I think definitely. Is there a reason why MailChimp over the Squarespace option? I guess they just have a particular relationship with MailChimp that they offered that. So that's what it's just an option to link up with MailChimp. So someone asked, what template do I use and what are my faves? Good question. So let's take a look at my site because I use a template called Horizon. And you can see from the homepage, just so you can see again what my site looks like. I use Horizon. So I want you to see how different Horizon is from what my site looks like. So this is the template. This is the Squarespace template Horizon. So you can kind of see what it looks like in the example. That's why with these templates, a lot of times you have to think outside of the box of what the template is because it can be very different looking, you know. So another one of my favorite templates. So let me just look up Squarespace templates. Squarespace templates is Mercer. I want to make sure I got that name right. No, that's not. Okay, let me scroll through till I find it. Must just be spelling it wrong because I think it's called Mercer. Well, let me go to some of my client sites so you can see what I'm using. Because Horizon is the one I use on my site. I enjoy that one very much. A lot of my other clients, like, okay, so here's Sitara. She uses, so I can remind myself on the name of this template here. Template Mercer. Yeah, like I said, I don't know why that didn't show up on the page. So Mercer, this is another template that I really like. And if you were to look at what, I don't know why I can't find Mercer on here, but let's see here. I'm just going to Google it real quick. Squarespace Mercer template. Yeah, it looks like they might be changing the name of it and calling it Mara Bragg now. So once it gets loaded up, you'll be able to see what it looks like. Sorry, something must be up today that you can't see the main screen of it, but you can see from hers that Mercer looks something like that from the example there. So yeah, I don't know why we can't see the whole thing here, but yeah, Mercer is my other favorite template that I like. I have a website course and we use Horizon to build our website, so that kind of gives you an example, idea of what it is. Oh, and someone asked about the share link generator. Yes, it's called just sharelinkgenerator.com. So that is where I put the tweet. I type out the entire tweet that I would want someone to send out for me, and I create the link. And so then I have a link for them to click the tweet. And the same with Facebook. You don't get to type out the Facebook comment that they make. You just put the link of your page in there, and you create the share link for it. So that's what I use. It's called sharelinkgenerator.com. There's a lot like this online. I literally would just Google Facebook share link, and that's what I use. So it allows you to encourage sharing. As you guys probably saw in the webinar, I was like encouraging you to share it out on Facebook and Twitter. And yes, the templates are very different. That's why I always like to say, just on the Squarespace templates, it's just you never know what it's going to look like. The possibilities are really endless of what you can create. Okay, so I'm going to hop back into the PowerPoint presentation. Hi again. And we'll just hit that here. All right, so I want to talk to you guys about something that I have created. So if you're looking for a Luxe brand, I've got you, okay? So I want to talk to you guys about Luxe Design Collective. And that is my 4-week web design experience that features expert live calls, Luxe design training, and personalized support from a professional designer and brand strategist. So this is me with you every step of the way, helping you create your Luxe website. This experience is for female entrepreneurs who are ready to stop fidgeting with their websites and start making money. Those who can't afford the cost of custom design, but they're serious about their online presence. And people who maybe have hit a planning guide. We're going to draw an effective mock-up to get an idea of where we're going to want the site to look like, and then we'll create a quick and easy coming soon page. All right. So in week 3, Squarespace setup. So what you'll be doing is planning your optimized homepage, learning the Squarespace page builder, and intro to index pages. So I alluded to those a little bit. We're going to talk about how I create pages with variety that look very unique, very different from the template, because that was the only downside of Squarespace, is that things can look cookie cutter if you don't know how to customize. So I'm teaching you how to be able to do that. And in week 4, page designs, we're going to be creating your about and contact pages, and inviting work with me page, and prioritizing the email setup there. So this isn't just about creating a beautiful website. This is about creating a focused website that's going to get your ideal clients to perform the action that you want them to perform when they get on the website. So that includes calls to action that work. So the difference between Luxe Design Collective and other courses is that we will have weekly support through 4 live group weekly calls with me and your fellow course mates. So each week I'll be on live. So, but wait, there are some bonuses. So you get a bonus module number 5, which is the freebie design and MailChimp automation setup. So I will show you how to create an eye-catching freebie PDF in Canva and link it up with MailChimp so that your subscribers can get it right away. So we'll also create mock-ups that look like the one on this page here, so you can promote your freebie and make it look great. No Photoshop needed ever. So how much is all this worth? I'm going to be teaching the entire process that I do with my clients in my signature package, which the price point on that is $4,950. Now, that is not how much this course is. Here are some bonuses that are going to be a part of the course. So a one-on-one strategy session with me. So this means you get personalized guidance based on your business goals and your audience. I will help with any tech snags that you might run into and assist with brainstorming a freebie that'll be irresistible to your fans and followers. So this is a one-on-one, 1-hour strategy session with me where we can do anything you want, talk about whatever you want to really help you get this site done with personalized help. You'll also get a website critique and assistance. So once you complete the site, I will do a website critique for it with suggestions on how you can improve it. And I'll also do up to 4 custom edits or fixes on your site. So that means that let's say you run into a wall, you can't figure out how to do this or this. I will personally log into your site and do up to those 4 edits for you. So the be $397, and you get all these bonuses plus the discount. There's also a payment plan available, so you can get it for 2 payments of $219. So here's what you get: the 4 weeks of guided modules, access to a membership portal and Thinkific, personal support from me in the Facebook group, and those bonuses. So you get the bonus training on your email freebie and funnel. You get the 1-hour strategy session with me and the website critique and personal assistance from me. So what happens when you join? The course access begins immediately. So right away, you get access to all 4 modules. You'll also get an invitation to join me in the Facebook group to ask any questions and to get updates or anything like that. Our first live group call is coming up in less than a week. It's coming up on Monday, September 10th. So that is our first live group calls. We go through these 4 weeks. We'll schedule those bonus one-on-one sessions after week 1. So imagine having a website that you are proud to show off and that most importantly gets you clients. And you could be doing that before the end of September. Here are some examples just of some websites that I've created. So you can do it. I can help. The website is angelicadezell.com/Luxe Design Collective. There is a button in this webinar beneath the video where you can check out this amazing offer. Again, the course is worth $597, but we are taking the price down to $397 if you purchase by tomorrow midnight. So I would love to have you guys in there. And if you have any questions about Luxe Design Collective, now is a great time to ask those questions. Also, if you have any questions about Squarespace or anything like that, I would love to hear your questions. I am watching the chat in my phone. So now I'm going to pop back up on the screen. Hey guys, so Again, Luxe Design Collective, it's a course that I'm super excited about. We've done one round of this that went really awesome. So now I'm doing another live round. So over the next 4 weeks, it's going to be us in the collective, really working through these modules. I'm going to be doing the live calls to demonstrate things for you. If you ever have any questions or anything like that, run into a wall. And the real game changer is being able to have these personalized sessions where we can get on the phone, anything that you need to talk about, anything that you want to go through, we can go through it and work live on the phone with each other. So this isn't just a course where you're just thrown in. I'm really here to help you kind of get over those humps, the branding issues, the tech issues, things like that. I'm here to help you get through those things with personalized one-on-one time, and then also that customized assistance. So where I will do up to 4 custom edits on the site. So that means that if you just can't figure it out, I will hop in there and help you out with that, do it myself, basically. So I heard a comment just pop up. I'm just gonna see. Am I open to JV? Yeah, you can email me. If you're on my list, I guess, from being on this webinar, you can email me hello@angelicadazelle.com. All right. I live for beauty question says, I have a quick question about the pre-footer. Did you create an image or did you create your whole footer via Squarespace? So let's see what my footer looks like, because I did add some images in there. And I'm going to share my screen for you guys here. So let's see here. All right. So you guys should see my website again. This is the pre-footer area of my website here. You can see there's a footer and then there's a pre-footer, which Horizon, the template that I have, has a pre-footer. Not every template has one, so that's something to think about. So I use this as like a final call to action that is on the bottom of every page of my website. So if I go to my About page, the pre-footer is down there too. You can see it right there. So the way I did it, if you go to edit here, you can see that it's built exactly like the page builder. So this is an image. I slid next to it some text, and then there's a button beneath it. So that's like pretty straightforward how that's done. I would make an image like this in Photoshop. Throughout the course, I don't use Photoshop in the course because I know most people don't have it, or the learning curve is pretty high. So we actually use PowerPoint, and I'm able to create things like this in PowerPoint as well. So yeah, just using the page builder is how I would make a pre-footer area like this. And same with the regular footer. If you edit, you can see that this is like a text next to an image, next to text on top of social links. And it's all through the page builder like that. Okay. Guys, if anyone has any other questions, be sure to pop those into the chat right now so I can get those answered for you. And I'm going to pop back on the screen. So I was really excited to be able to share Squarespace with you guys. I love being able to do this webinar because Squarespace is just my absolute favorite platform for building websites on. I feel like it's really, I love being able to hand a Squarespace site over to my clients because I know that they're going to be able to edit it and maintain it and not run into tech snags, which is something that I can't guarantee with WordPress. I always like to say that Squarespace, comparing Squarespace versus WordPress, WordPress is like, if you're trying to make a phone call in the 50s and you have to call the switchboard operator, and the switchboard operator has to plug in the phone thing to get you to talk to who you want to talk to me, that is WordPress. A lot of moving pieces, a lot of things that could dysfunction, basically. And Squarespace is like using an iPhone. If I want to call someone, I just boop, boop, call them, you know? So that is really how I compare the two platforms. And I find that most of my clients are able to do Squarespace based on their needs. Like, I'm always willing to assess, you know, based on the needs that you have for your site, maybe WordPress is a better option because of something you need on it. I have clients who use Infusionsoft and need really complex membership sites and things like that, to where WordPress is a better option for them. But I find about 90% of my clients, Squarespace gets the job done and allows them to spend more time making money as opposed to maintaining their website, which is why I love it so much. So with that being said, yeah, you're welcome. I live for beauty. So with that, if no one has any other questions, that is the presentation today, the Squarespace Masterclass. I'm so happy to be able to present this to you guys. I would love to see you all in Luxe Design Collective. So be sure to click the Fast Action Bonus button below the chat on this webinar. and then you can learn all about it. And I would love to see you in there. So you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thank you guys so much for being on here, showing up live, and being here for the Squarespace Masterclass. I'll see you guys later.